It's March, it's 2025, and here we are off to the Hammerhead Wargame show at the Newark Showground in Nottinghamshire. Your host is Westfold the Wargamer. Well, it's 1st of March 2025. Here we are at Newark, and it is the annual Hammerhead Wargame show. And there's all the hopeful customers over there going in. Was a big queue here earlier on, but I don't like to get here that early. As usual with my films, I like to do an internal shot. We're in the hall today at Newark. Usual very big busy event. Tables in all directions, and we'll be getting down to details in a minute. So here we go, first game of the day. This is the Wheel Lords. It's an invitation game to play Bugs, a Starship Trooper game. There are in fact two Starship Trooper games here today. This is one of them. We have the arachnids coming in from this end. As you can see, quite a number of them. Streaming across here. A little bit of detail there. And off in the distance, there's even more of them steaming over the far end. Nice bit of terrain. Clearly put some effort into it. Paul Verhoeven, the director of the film, would be very impressed. So this is the Wheel Lords invitation to play a Bugs, a Starship Trooper game. Another angle here. Swinging away to there. Nice buildings. And again, more bugs, more arachnids coming in at the far end. Wouldn't be a British war game show without the very British Civil War occurring. The very British Civil War is an alternate history which features a Spanish Civil War type engagement in Britain during the late 1930s, principally based around the Oswald Mosley, Edward VIII, and a sort of polarisation of British left-wing and right-wing views. Games are always in 28mm and benefit from a selection of early British World War II BEF type figures, plus all sorts of figures culled from other genres. And of course you get the homemade tanks, extemporised weapons and all the rest of it. We'll try and catch it from the other end. As I just said, there's some extemporised armour coming over this bridge here, led by what appears to be a World War I armoured car. Got more extemporised vehicles over here. This is clearly where the action is. Units on each side can be communists, trade union, anarchists, you name it, they've got it. Of course, if you've got any Dad's Army figures, they can be useful as well. And the whole table here must be at least 22 feet long. They always put on a good show here. So this is a very British Civil War forum doing the very British Civil War. Details are available online. I've seen some of their books. They've even produced things like uniform guides, so you can paint your fictitious units correctly. And we're back on. Right. And this is Doncaster Gentleman Gaming. It's an invitation game for Allo Kelly, and I strongly suspect, from having just spoken to the organiser, it's something to do with Kelly's Heroes. It's a variation on Kelly's Heroes, yes?
Variation on Kelly's Heroes and Allo.
Oh, I see. So we've got the cafes here as well.
The cafe's down there.
Okay.
Where you can see the grey building. And then across from the gatehouse we have the bank. We even have Monsieur René down there, Michel, and all the French resistance.
Okay, so this is a combination of Allo, the British TV comedy, and Kelly's Heroes. Right, I'm going to move up. Thank you. Apparently the cafe is down there. René and the entire staff of the cafe are there, and presumably they got the fallen Madonna with the big boobies. The bank's here as well, and at some stage the Tiger tank featured there may come into action, but as to which side it comes in on is debatable. Right, another long view of Allo Kelly. Big table, big game, plenty of German armour coming in that end. Plenty of US armour coming in there. And also behind the village over there. So got them. And there's a couple of the organisers sitting up there as well. Allo Kelly from the Doncaster Club. Right. Grantham doing invitation game. This is Discworld Witch Racing. I have seen this before other shows. Always seems to be popular. You're basically charging around a track very similar to a racetrack on witches' brooms, and I believe, if I missed my Discworld correctly, that's the Unseen University, or is that it down there? One or the other. So firmly in the realms of Discworld, this is Grantham doing Discworld Witch Racing. Something a little different. This is Winter Pig and Rapier Miniatures doing a quest for the Golden Fleece. However, they're doing it in 6mm scale. That's the terrain, which is hexed. You can see some figures down there. So it looks like a Jason and the Argonauts. That hand should give you a sense of scale. These are 6mm, and clearly we're going Jason and the Argonauts here. I presume you fight your way up from level to level, possibly with increasing levels of threat, depending on what you face. And unless my eyes deceiveth me, we have over here the Hydra, which will actually be guarding the Golden Fleece at that rock there, if they stick to the traditional story anyway. Sorry. That's right. Right. These are the 6mm figures not yet in play. And if I scale right in, there's a lot of detail down there. They look like scorpions. Scorpions? Could be. Here we have the Harrogate Wargames Club over there. and they're inviting you. It's another invitation game, Cold War Gone Hot. This appears to be 1/200 scale and looks like a NATO versus Warsaw Pact clash on the plains of probably Germany. That could be NATO that side, in which case I've got the Warsaw Pact stuff in front of me. Yes. Yes, that's the Warsaw Pact side. Well dug in along there. We've got a bridge layer hiding behind that building over there. This is all 1/200. Looks like British armour deploying there. Yeah. Looks like some scimitar striker type vehicles up on the hill there. And over here, the massed ranks of Ivan steaming between the church and the ruined building over there. Right, this is Mogsy Makes, and they're doing Midgard heroic battles, apparently in 2 scales. So, on this side, doing it big. This side doing it big. Very, very nice figures. I'll swear I've seen this bridge before. I think they used that before in a Viking game. Sure, it's the same model. Anyway, so Midgard heroic battles. On this side, large. Now we'll go over the other side. And then this side, same thing, but much smaller. Again, Midgard heroic battles, but we're now out in the desert.
They're a mixture of Bacchus
There appears to be a desert fortress over there. And 2 armies. And that appears to be, what are these, 6mm? 6 mil? 6 mil. So 6 mil one end and a very heroic 28 mil the other. Right, another popular club in the Midlands, the Boondock Saints. And they're now in the realms of Lord of the Rings, and it's the Battle of the Fords of Isen. I assume the river Isen is there. And we have the ravening hordes of Mordor coming across there. They've got the dire wolves, mounted goblins, you name it. Facing them, I'm seeing, well, what am I seeing? Presumably the forces of man. The baddies are also on both sides of the river. They seem to have got across further up, and they're attacking the ford from both directions. What is it they say in the film Bridge Too Far? The best way to capture a river crossing is both ends at once. Well, definitely what the baddies are doing is going for that thought here. So what we got? Go right in. Get some detail. Oh yes. Awful lot of orcs. In fact, I'll swear the humans are rather outnumbered. Oh, here we go. will just correct that. I've spoken to an organiser, and these are, of course, the forces of Rohan, not Gondor. I must admit, I did wonder why all the white horses were there, but I thought I'd better check. So this is the forces of Rohan, on this occasion mostly deployed on foot. That's what threw me as well. I always associate the Rohan being mounted. But every army has to deploy foot and horse, so there you go. So Battle of the Fords of Isen, forces of evil versus Rohan, not Gondor. So we are back with Lord of the Rings again. Also Midgard heroic battles. And this is Matt Slade and Friends, The Harrying of the Westfold, a Midgard game. So over here, now they definitely are riders of the Rohan, so let's get that one right. Yeah. Bad guys over here, plenty of orc pike, what looks like trolls or small giants. And right at the back there, we've got the Witch King of Angmar urging them on from his dragon. Another shot from this angle, we've got the dragon. We've got those wonderful trolls or hill trolls or giants coming steaming across there. Orc pike massed in front. Goblins on wargs here and over here. Oh, they're quite well equipped with those. And principally Riser Rohan all the way up there, and there's rather a lot of them. The thing that always puzzles me, and it's particularly in the film, is why is the shield on the right hand side? The shield should of course be hanging on the left hand side, because shields are worn left handed. I suspect that Peter Jackson wanted to have the shields in shot for the cavalry charge in the third film, and therefore insisted that the shields be put on the wrong side. Of course, the model makers have replicated that and put the shields in the same place. Apart from that, excellent game.
Just a quick plug from your host. If you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, please leave us a thumbs up and please try to subscribe. All support is most welcome. Now on with the show.
Right, this is the Glory Boys. I've seen them before. I've seen this model before. It's one of those things that you can use in many ways. And what they're doing is Psycho Glory. I've seen this done with zombies. I've seen it done with other things, and the layout and format very much resembles a very large zombie sideboard. Same sort of concept in design, but in this case you're trying to stay one step ahead of a knife-wielding psycho, who I assume might have been one of those characters down there. Knife-wielding psycho, and to escape you have to find the ignition key that will help you start one of these vehicles and you can escape. I've particularly commented before on their scrap heap. It's a gorgeous model. Someone's really put the time into that. You've got barbed wire, wrecked cars, suspiciously healthy tree growing up in it, but it's not a scrapyard I know. Lots of little details, lots of nice bits. You can even watch live Sky Sports if you want to. I swear I've seen them doing a zombie type game on this board before. Yep, definitely like it. It's a table I'm always drawn to. So this is the Glory Boys, and this time it's Psycho Glory. Before we go, let's just get a close-up on the church. Lovely mausoleum. Excellent terraced houses.
Are you starting this game soon?
Of course, not everyone here is with the club. We have an individual player down here today doing écorcheurs. I've got the pronunciation correctly. And this is skirmish wargaming in the 100 Years' War. Écorcheurs means flayers, and it's literally the unemployed soldiers who go around pillaging and turning themselves to brigandage when they can't get employment in an army. The écorcheurs rule some figures, suit small engagements. They say about 20 to 40 figures per side, and this one's being played in 28mm. Another view here. Looks like the local lord might be turning out to try and drive the écorcheurs off. Meantime, they're down here trying to see what rape and pillage, or pill and rapage, they can get up to. Yeah, I did say pill and rapage. Right, we have To the Strongest. Another invitation game is the Battle of Horngate. Large selection of fantasy creatures on this side, including apparently an Indian, a Native American tribe of some sort. Not quite sure what we got over there. But in the middle we do have Triceratops, a Spinosaurus, and at least 2 Ankylosaurs. Okay, fair enough. On this side, equally diverse group. Again, there appears to be Native Americans. Horse archers mounted on antelope or ibex, or very large goats. An interesting selection of creatures that appear to be mounted on something like rhinoceroses. Okay, different. This would warm the cockles of any paleontologist's heart. War elephants, but they're again Triceratops. 3-horned lizard. I'm also a paleontologist on the side. Right then. So this is To the Strongest. To the Strongest. The Battle of Horngate. Next table, Phoenix Gaming of Rushden are doing the Dragon Perch Wars. As the name suggests, there's rather a few dragons involved. One there. Very interesting purple one there. What appears to be a frost dragon, or similar, over there. And then down here, couple more. Well, certainly no shortage of dragons. As they say, it does what it says on the tin. Back from this side, another purple dragon view there. And the rather gorgeous frost dragon is the one up there.
No, because you took the wounds off him anyway. So you basically you get one wound back,
having narrowly avoided a mistake there. Right, this is Blitzkrieg Games. They're doing a thing called Jager Mech, and it's a challenge game involving mech wars. Lovely big models over there which you come up against, and players get to choose from these figures over here and basically have a go. So it's a participation game, plenty of counters, plenty of nice terrain, plenty of big models. So it's Jager Mech from Blitzkrieg Games. Right, this is Like a Stone Wall, that's the club. And we're doing World War II, United States Army Air Force, big week, February 1944. Lots of B-17s over there. We've got some P-47 Thunderbolt escorts over there, and P-47 Thunderbolt escorts over there. And I strongly suspect that at some stage some Focke-Wulf 190s or BF 109s will come in and jump them. So the club is called Like a Stone Wall, and the game is called Masters of the Air. Right, I'm standing next to the originator of Grotesque goggle box, and he tells me it's a journey through recent British cultural history via children's TV. So we have, for example, the Teletubbies down here, Grange Hill over there, yeah, Captain Pugwash, yeah, but with a stop the boats angle on there. And then for the Daleks in the middle, I'm reliably informed, we have the last 5 British Prime Ministers, including Boris, Cameron, and the lettuce in the background is, of course, yeah, Theresa May. There she is. The lettuce is, of course, Theresa May. I take it that's the gardening one is Alan Titchmarsh.
The Blue Peter Garden.
Blue Peter Garden. And you've got a BBC corridor up there.
That's the Scooby corridor.
And then finally you have to rescue Missy Goggins from Postman Pat up the top there, yeah?
Yep.
That's the aim of the game. And presumably, depending on which path you go, you encounter different hazards.
Correct. So the players choose which way they go up the game.
Okay. Makes sense. Works for me. Had much interest with it?
Yeah, a lot. It's the 4th time we've brought the game out to various shows.
Really?
And even if people aren't playing it, they're always stopping and asking about it. It's quite an eye catcher.
Right.
So,
well, that's why I stopped by.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Right. And also from Bunny Badger Games is an interesting challenge game where various Ukrainian farmers have to steal Russian vehicles, armoured vehicles. I see the BTR-6 is just being towed away. Okay, different.
I will go up to 7 and go to the tank. You're heading for the tank.
Right, this is North Oxfordshire Wargames now, and they're doing Scarface Fighting for Control of Chicago. Invitation game, Prohibition period shootout. Most of the action appears to be taking place here at the moment. I do like their buildings, they're nearly all got interior detail. Love the cinema.
There we go, Fortunes of War. Right.
And over the back there, the venerable Airfix, I think it's now Daypol, the old Airfix OOHO scale crane. I remember assembling one of those in about 1972. That kit's been around a bit. There again, so have I. So this is the North Oxfordshire War Games now, and it's Scarface fighting for control of Chicago. Right, I am with the Hornsey Contemptibles, and they're well into the realms of the Italian Wars. I think I've seen them here before doing something similar.
We changed the last year it was ECW we did.
I'm sure I've seen someone doing it, yeah. Sure I've seen someone doing.
And I did, the year before it was War to the Roses.
That might be what I'm thinking of, right.
But it was contemptible because nobody from the club has ever wanted to come except the first time was today. So I said, right, I'll go independent.
Nice figures.
With everybody's figures.
Right, and which rules are we working from?
Sorry?
Which rules are we working from?
Fire and Fury.
This is Fire and Fury rules, 28mm, and it's the amended Fire and Fury, and it's the Hornsey Contemptibles. Right. Right, we're now with the Chesterfield Open Gaming Society, and they're doing two games today, two separate boards, both for a game called Doomed, which are basically fantasy themed games. Here's some of the figures they're using. Very nice selection. Very, very nice selection of figures. As somebody who's not particularly taken with clowns, I won't be playing with that lot. Yes, Doomed, Chesterfield Open Gaming Society. Right, here's one of the Chesterfield boards. Fossil T-Rex, fossil Triceratops. And over this one is a more almost underwater theme, I think. A lot of this stuff's come out of an aquarium shop. Still, interesting concept. Right, this is Tyneside War Games Club, and they're presenting a sort of double table. The theme is Death on the Nile, but it's the sea peoples, that is the people who came in from the Mediterranean, attacking Egypt. So over here we have the naval battle. I'm assuming Egyptians will be the ones with the only connect type symbols. The only connect type symbols on the sails, and these guys on this side looking rather more Greek are of course the sea peoples. So this is the naval battle, and then what they got down here in what appears to be about 10mm is and serried ranks of an Egyptian army supported by light chariots, and over here the sea peoples with their own light chariots. Not quite sure where they got those from, maybe they captured them. So yes, sea peoples. There's a couple of the boats that have been removed from play on the other table. They're not technically there. And again, sea people's fleet going off that way, Egyptian war fleet that way, and this is their version of Death on the Nile. Now I'm going to have to pan out for this one because it's a big table, and amazingly it's all in about 5 or 6mm. This is a club called All Hell Let Loose, and what they have produced here is Omaha Beach. That's Omaha Beach in its entirety. I think the support vessels have been scaled in much closer than they should be. That's fair enough. A limited amount of space. They've got the beach defence here.
Special engineers with the red edge. Those are flamethrowers. Right. Okay. So basically, every single landing.
Apparently, we've got a flamethrower team going in here, trying to take out a pillbox or something further upslope. If you look up there, you can see they're already ashore at different places. Some of the Sherman DDs have survived, and they're crawling into the beach defences as we speak. So this is all hell let loose, bloody Omaha.
It seems like what they're there for really doesn't
here's some up on top of the roof. More in the street out there. Even more rampaging down the street here. This is definitely on the scale of World War Z, also with tongue firmly planted in cheek. Very nicely detailed models. Particularly like that one. Looks like it steps straight out of a Warhammer box. Windows and it does not look like a Warhammer model. Nice big Sikorsky type helicopter. And even the railway's got in on the act. So this is the Shaun of the Dead, the bunker. Right, this is the dented bassinet, who I understand come out of Gloucestershire area, and they are doing Trench Crusade. Now, I have heard of this through Black Magic Craft on YouTube. He's producing an awful lot of models, very, very similar to this. A lot of corrugated cardboard used to do the siding for the trenches. And the concept is when the Crusades took place in our timeline, they managed to open the jaws of hell, and we're still fighting off demons in the 1418 war. So we've got bad guys on that side, hence the upside down cross. I know my Dennis Wheatley. Yeah, there's the upside down cross. These are the Antichrist mob. And then the Templars, the good guys, will be over here with the genuine crosses on show. So it's a sort of alternative history, World War I, venturing serious trench warfare against the demons of hell. That's dented bassinet, who I understand come out of Gloucestershire. Right, it's the Lincoln Shard, and they are doing an invitation game, Gates of Antares, which, judging from the buildings, I suspect is fantasy or sci-fi based. Interesting array of buildings. They remind me of sort of tubs you put food into, but I'm sure they've used something else. I like the model on the roof. Like a sandworm with legs. It's been described also as bolt action in space. Interesting way of putting it. So this is Lincoln Shard, Gates of Antares. Yeah. Right. Doncaster Wargames Society, believe it or not, are doing Sandford as a challenge game. What is Sandford? Sandford is the mythical village from Hot Fuzz. There's the Summerfield supermarket. And my little claim to fame is I have been in the real supermarket, the one that featured in the film. It's at Wells in Somerset. Over here we have Sandford Autos, and one of the police cars is actually parked outside it at the moment. It's a sort of story stroke survival game. It starts with the return of the gun-toting coppers to the village, and they've got to survive getting around the village and facing various people, including the parish priest, the doctor, and everybody else waving guns at them. And here's the market stall in the centre. The whole film was actually filmed at Wells in Somerset. They originally intended to film at Frome, nearby Frome, but Frome suddenly withdrew permission. And Summerfield were okay, because the director, Edgar Wright, had actually once worked in the Summerfield at Wells as a shelf stacker. So my little claim to fame is I have been in the real Summerfield supermarket. I think it's now changed name. And final shot on the Nick Clegg and Nick Frost and Simon Pegg's police car there. Woo. Right, things are starting to catch up with me now. I'm going to make this my last one, but I'm going to finish with a historical. This is Fitzaubery's Last Hurrah from the Lancaster Wargames Society. It's a participation game. And as we can see, it's set firmly in the 18th century. Appears to be a landing on a beach. We've got a marine sailor landing party down there. Troops further up here, which appear to be, they look like they're French. But then we've got what look like red-coated marines there. Yeah, interesting. What's the basic story here?
Naval landing party taking out coastal batteries so that the ship can go and attack.
And the French infantry managed to get behind them. Yeah, okay, that explains everything. I've been puzzling over how come they got behind them. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So it's a simple naval raid to take out the gun battery, and in turn they've been ambushed from behind. This is where they came ashore. The group that are in the rocks there, who are they? The troops in the rocks, who are they? Sailors?
Yeah, they were put there by the 3 kids that were playing. They're meant to be 100 feet.
Okay, that's right. This has been a Warspite production. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a thumbs up. If you've really enjoyed it, please feel free to subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next time. This is Warspite out, and have a very good day.